Welcome to today's Explainer. We are unpacking something absolutely fascinating right now. We're looking at a deeply beautiful ancient text from a sacred book called the Ginza Rabba, specifically a section known as the Fourth Praise. But listen, we aren't just going to dust this off and look at it like a boring piece of history. We're actually going to use it as an incredible, timeless map for navigating modern struggles. Because, let's be real, the intense, chaotic, and totally overwhelming experience of being a teenager today, it's a lot. And it turns out the crushing weight of expectations and that constant FOMO we deal with were understood perfectly thousands of years before smartphones were even a thing. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's kick this off by asking a question I think we've literally all felt at our lowest moments. Have you ever walked down a super crowded hallway at school or been endlessly scrolling through a seemingly perfect social media feed and just felt completely and utterly out of place? Like you're kind of trapped in a life or playing a version of yourself that just doesn't feel right. That feeling of deep alienation is totally universal. And as we're going to see, this ancient text captures that exact feeling of being stuck in a world you didn't ask for absolutely perfectly.
The feeling of being lost.
To understand this, we're going to follow a guide through this text, a figure named Adam. But forget the historical guy for a second. Here, Adam represents all of us whenever we feel totally disconnected. In the text, he refers to himself as mana. Now, this is a seriously beautiful ancient word used to describe our soul. It's your brilliant inner spark. It's your true, authentic essence before the world starts telling you who you're supposed to be, what to wear, or how to act. When you're young, figuring out exactly who you are is the ultimate challenge, right? Well, your mana is that unique, hidden treasure inside you, just waiting to be fully realized.
So, in a moment of pure frustration, Adam cries out, "When did they call me to this world? And how did they imprison me in this form? How did I get separated from the light?" If you have ever had one of those days where the academic pressure, the wild social drama, or just heavy expectations at home felt like an actual prison, you know this exact feeling. He is literally asking why his true essence feels trapped in this heavy world he never even signed up for. He just wants to know, why does it all have to be so incredibly hard?
Section 2. The Heavy Clay of Life. This brings us straight to what is weighing Adam down so heavily. He vents, "Cursed are the demons, cursed is this darkness and clay, I will return to the light on which I was raised." He wants to just run away from all this clay and go home to a place of peace. And honestly, when you're utterly exhausted by life, the very first instinct is always to hide, to quit, or to just find an easy escape route right back to your comfort zone. But here's the thing. Those demons in clay aren't just old ancient myths. The demons aren't literal monsters hiding under your bed. They are modern toxic pressures. They're the anxiety, the endless digital noise from your phone, and the super heavy expectations we drag around every single day. And the clay? That is that suffocating feeling of being stuck in a rut, where every single step forward feels impossibly muddy and heavy. Which leads us to Section 3, A Voice from the Light. Just when Adam is completely ready to give up and escape the clay, a voice from the divine light answers him. But, surprise, it doesn't just instantly rescue him and beam him up. Instead, it asks a huge question. "Oh, Adam, do you really want to return to grace? Do you want to deliver the treasure that is in you and be filled with wisdom?" This is a massive turning point. The voice is basically saying, yeah, you can have peace, but are you ready to actually earn it? Because you can't just skip the hard, awkward, painful parts of growing up. You actually have to carry your inner treasure straight through the darkness to truly become wise. Section 4. The Power of Patience. This builds into probably the most powerful advice in the entire text. It's basically the ultimate guide to mental resilience. The divine light gives Adam a surprisingly tough set of instructions. Stay in this world. Endure the darkness and pain. Wait until your destined days are complete. It's telling him, and telling us, that you absolutely cannot just escape when things get tough. When you're going through a terrible phase in high school, it can genuinely feel like it is going to last forever. But this text reminds us, it's just a phase. You have to bravely endure it to get to the other side. Now, the text doesn't just tell Adam to suffer in silence, right? To give him strength, it offers the guardian's promise. It promises that the eye of your Savior is awake, that you are washed over, that radiant light and peace will come to you, and that you should not be troubled. This is incredibly comforting. What it means is that even when you feel totally isolated or completely misunderstood in your struggles, you aren't actually alone. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and this period of heavy darkness will for sure eventually break.
So, faced with this profound advice, Adam makes his choice. He says, "I held fast to my patience, bearing my situation." He completely accepts the challenge. He chooses profound mental resilience and inner strength over despair. And notice, this isn't some passive, defeated kind of patience. No way. This is an active, gritty determination to hold on to his true self, his mana, while dealing with the absolute worst the world can throw at him.
Section 5. Returning to your true self.
Finally, we reach the beautiful, well-earned resolution of this whole journey. The text actually maps out the soul's path in 3 phases. You start at phase 1, birth and separation, basically getting thrown into the world. Then there's the long middle chapter, phase 2, which is your lifetime. That's defined by endurance, patience, and dealing with all that messy clay. But it leads inevitably to phase 3, the end of days, liberation and returning to the light. It puts everything into perspective. The pain of the present is just the messy middle of a much bigger, ultimately triumphant story.
And the payoff for that endurance is phenomenal. Adam is finally freed from his prison, declaring, "Here I am, swimming in the light, enjoying the treasure they promised me, my heart, mind, and eyes illuminated with wisdom." I love that imagery. He didn't just survive the world, he transformed. You know that feeling of finally graduating or finding a group of friends who truly, deeply get you, or just suddenly becoming comfortable in your own skin? That is exactly what swimming in the light feels like.
So the absolutely crucial point we need to take away from all this is simple. Guard your inner treasure with wisdom and patience. Your true self, your inner spark, your mana, it literally cannot be destroyed by the heavy clay of life, the digital noise, or the overwhelming pressures of growing up. But you have to do your part. You have to patiently protect it, endure those super tough days, and trust that the light is coming. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. In a world completely full of heavy clay and endless distractions, how are you guarding your own inner light today? Are you letting the pressure dim your spark? Or are you holding fast to your patience, just like Adam? Remember, the darkness is temporary, but the wisdom you gain from enduring it is permanent. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Go out there and fiercely guard your mana.